Hi again, everybody. So you just had to look at me in a different video, but you have to look at me one more time. This will not be the last time. I'm going to make more videos for you this unit. Right now, I am in our I'm in our course, and what is happening is the share screen thing is in the way, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, we'll just get out of here. What I want to show you guys how to do is how to really easily find topics to write about. And what I mentioned in my previous video, if you watched it, um, is to write about something that interests you but that you haven't written about before. Another option is it's usually really good or interesting to write about something that is more timely, that is kind of going on at the moment. So you might consult your local newspaper or something, or even go on the New York Times website and see what is being discussed there. Something else that you can do, you may be like, none of those appeal to me, or I still have no idea what to write about. Okay, 100% fair. That happens. And even if you do think you know what you want to write about, this may also be a great way to help you find a source, or maybe to even show you other topics that might interest you so that you have options. So what I want to show you is how to use the Gutenberg Library database called CQ Researcher today. And all you really need to do, you guys have, I assume, been on the Gutenberg Library website. Because Gutenberg is kind of a silly name, all you have to do is Google Gutenberg Library, and it's automatically going to bring up ours. So we'll click on that. Oh, I could have, okay, whatever. So if you scroll down, excuse me, I need a drink of water. Okay, if you scroll down, you'll see this first blue box down here is called Research. So you want to click on that. Okay, and there's all kinds of stuff here, which if you're not really familiar with using the library, can be very overwhelming. But there are a couple of things that I want to point out to you. First off is over here on the right-hand corner, if you need help from a librarian, so even though you're taking the class online, even though you may be working remotely, you're not in Pittsburgh, etc., you can still chat with a librarian. So you could start a chat just by clicking there. So what I could do is I could type in, I don't know, I could make my name Harry Potter if I wanted to. You don't have to use your real name if you don't want to. If you wanted to be like super covert, I don't know why you would, but okay. And it will connect you in real time with a librarian who works for the Gutenberg Library, and they can help you find sources, direct you to things, answer questions you might have, etc. But for our purposes right now, mostly what we want to pay attention to is this second blue box from the left, which says databases A to Z. Come on. And I'm going to go over this a little bit more. The chat always comes up too over on the right-hand side. I'm going to go over all of the databases a little bit more in depth, I believe, next class. For right now, I just want to show you CQ Researcher. So it starts with a C, so we're going to click on the C. And then we're going to scroll down. There's Chatham University. That's where I got my undergraduate degree from. Okay. So here it is, CQ Researcher. This is what you want. So you can see it's in-depth coverage of the most important issues of the day, written by experienced journalists, footnoted and professionally fact-checked. This is a really great resource for any kind of general essay you need to write about, especially whenever you're getting started with topics. This is a really good resource to use. So all you do is you click on CQ Researcher, and ta-da, it brings us there. Hello. Okay. So the part that, oh boy, you can never escape COVID-19. Not for long, can you? Thank you for the reminder, Gutenberg Library. Okay, the pandemic economy. Okay, so trying to focus here, and COVID-19, I'm sure you guys feel it too. It's very much a distraction. Yeah, and sometimes you have to let it be in your life, but we're not going to get totally derailed by it. Something that's interesting is over here on the right-hand side, you can see hot topics. Some of these you're not allowed to write about, like abortion or gun control, but you could, check out some of these others and potentially click on them and see if you're interested in them. But I would argue the best way to get started finding a topic, if that's what you want to do, if you need to find a topic to write about for your essay, is to go over here under Browse Topics and just click on that. And then what it's going to do is it's going to give you browse reports by topic. And so these are kind of bigger umbrellas that contain a bunch of different, more specific topics underneath them. So I'm just going to use myself again as an example. What am I interested in? So you can see I'm interested in energy, interested in human rights, interested in media, social movements, science and technology. Let's go with social movements. That sounds kind of interesting. Okay, and you can see civil rights movement. So right, it's kind of getting more specific as we go. There's student movements, sexuality, protest movements, prohibition, hate groups, feminism. Oh, I'm interested in environmentalism. That sounds really cool to me. Okay, I'm going to click on that. All right, and now it has brought me to even more specific topics. And over here you can see they're from the top, these ones are not in alphabetical order. They're listed in terms of their date. So you can see which ones are kind of the most relevant. The oldest one goes back to 1979. But some of these might still be relevant. So there's animal rights, national parks, climate change. There's lots on climate change. Native American sovereignty. That's something that's actually been in the news a lot recently. I don't know if you guys saw the Supreme Court's ruling on Oklahoma. Okay, it's not amazing, but it is kind of a big deal. The reason it's amazing is because, like, finally Native American lands are being recognized, although they have been recognized in the past, and the government has still not supported those recognitions by some of the highest courts in the land. That's a whole other thing. But you know what? Maybe I care about that topic. I don't know enough to really speak on it a whole lot. So I'm going to say Native American sovereignty. I want to know more about that. So you can see it will bring me to a whole page on that topic. And what's great is that if you go up here, it gives you like a little itty bitty introduction. So you could say, oh, is this something that I would be interested or not? So you can read just a little paragraph or two. Then you get kind of an overview. There's lovely pictures of that man in a hat. You can see some of the native lands or where the tribes are. Should tribes have full control over their reservations, right? So it'll kind of break down what are the biggest questions in this topic. It'll give you graphs and stuff. There's some more background. If we scroll down a little bit further too, I don't want to pass it up. Was that about, yeah, yeah, and it's giving you stuff about the current situation too. So it looks like this may have been updated. Or wait, no, this is from 2017. So here's some outlook. Here's a pro con. Could energy development lift tribes out of poverty, right? And so you're going to get like a pro, somebody who agrees with that, and somebody who's con, somebody who's against that. And you could go and look and see if there's more on this topic these two people have written. And then it's going to give you a chronology, which is super, super useful. There's more reading for you in this. And then if you go down here, you're going to see a bibliography. And what's great about this is it lists the sources that this article used. And you can go and look at some of those yourself. And this can help you find even more sources on your topic. And there's audio and video, right? There's all kinds of stuff related to this. You could even go to some of these, right? So it gives you kind of contacts. You could see what some of these like departments and organizations have to say about this issue. There's footnotes and stuff. So this really gives you everything that you need to get started on researching a topic, even down to helping to point you to further sources. So let's go back up here to the top for a minute. And what's great about this, and what I recommend doing, is if you find something and you think you might even want to write about it, okay, choose view PDF and then save that sucker to your desktop, and then you have it, and then it's easier to cite too because you have the page numbers, and it will go over everything for you, right? So you still have all of that same great stuff. Let's go ahead and go back for a second. Also, what's fantastic and that, helps make dealing with MLA a lot easier is right next to View PDF is the Cite Now button. And if you click on this, it has to think for a minute. What are you doing? Okay, fine. Let me have the cookies, but let me also cite now, please. Are you going to do it? Why is it not doing it? Is this function broken for some reason on just this specific one? Come on. I'm not sure if it's blocking something on, so I'm using Firefox. I'm not sure if Firefox is blocking a pop-up. That might be what's happening here, but I've done this 20 million times in the past, and you can click on this button and have it cited for yourself. Although the information you would need to cite it is also up here at the top with the title, the author, and when it was published, and the volume and issue number. So I'm not sure why it is not bringing that up for me, but it's not, but it does work other times. I'm not sure if CQ Researcher is having a problem, if it's my browser, or if it's just this particular article. Either way, it should cite it for you. The other thing I want to show you is that you can see an issue tracker. So here are other publications that are similar or related to this topic. And then you can browse related topics. So if you read this little paragraph and you were like, this is kind of interesting, but I don't know if I want to write about it for my research essay, you could go down here and say, okay, well, what are some other things that maybe are related to this topic but aren't the same topic? And this could help you pick out a new topic that works better for you instead. Let's just go back to CQ Researcher. So I've gone back to the home page. So if you're someone you're like, I don't need to do any of that, this doesn't apply to me, whatever, okay, fine. That's totally legitimate. But what you can do is, if I can get rid of this little box of myself, there I go. You can go up here to the search bar. I always recommend whenever you're doing these kind of things to go ahead and click advanced search. It just lets you be a little bit more specific in case you do want to narrow anything down. What do I want to look up? Let's say that I was writing, what am I going to write about? I'm going to choose one of our band topics. Let's say that I was writing about paying college athletes. So I'm going to use pay and college athletes. So what you may have noticed that I'm doing here, and I do think I plan to talk about this in an upcoming lesson, is that I'm interested in the word pay, and I want to connect that word pay to the phrase college athletes. So I use and as the connecting word whenever I'm doing a search there. And college athletes is a specific phrase that needs to go together, so I've put it in quote marks. And I could narrow this down by date range, but I'm not going to do that. I could choose just an introduction, right? I could choose just these aspects of it, but I'm just going to do a general search for right now. Okay, and you can see that there has been a lot written on this. These first two ones are really, really relevant. So you have compensating college athletes, and you could click on this, and there you go. Right? You have a source, even if you already know what you want your topic to be. Oh my goodness. Just by going into CQ Researcher and doing this, you already have a source, right? And it's going to have all of this, the introduction, overview, background, current situation, outlook, pro, con, blah, 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 all of that stuff that you really need to kind of get into what your topic is. So CQ Researcher is a great resource, like I said, whenever you're trying to figure out a topic to write about, or if you already know what your topic is about, to start some like preliminary research that is going to help you find more research down the road, and that is going to help you understand that later research that you gather better too. I think that's all I want to show you guys. They look very ferocious. The Ohio State football players, that is. So I think that's all I have to show you guys for right now. If you have questions about using CQ Researcher, if you want to run your topic by me and see if I have thoughts or can point you to a specific source, you're more than welcome to do that. And also remember, you guys, I do have office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays from, I believe, noon to 3 p.m. So if you ever need me during that time, I'll just be sitting at my computer. So you can always email me during that time and be pretty sure that you're going to hear back from me very quickly. All right, guys, I remember to stop the meeting in order to immediately stop the video and to end your suffering sooner so that you don't have me grumbling in the background about technology. All right, I hope you enjoy finding topics and starting this project. I will see you in the next video.